Hey everyone, and welcome to this very special Facebook Live, YouTube video and Grow Show episode, which is the podcast that we do called the 10 Ways to Grow Your Community. Now, as I said before, we're recording this, streaming it on Facebook Live. We're going to be using this video on YouTube, and then we're going to be putting it on as an episode of the Grow Show. So, wherever you're listening to this and watching this, thank you very much. If you're watching on replay, thank you very much again. Join us live, just put in the comments below or in the comments in wherever you're listening and watching to say, hey, how you doing? Now, today's live stream is going to be all about growing your community, and we're going to be looking at 10 key areas of where you can go. And if you haven't already watched or listened to the other videos in this series, please do check them out. We've got 10 ways to increase your creativity. We've got 10 things to do on social media. We've also got 10 ways to grow your community, business, and grow yourself. So if you haven't already watched them, please check them out. They're all available in the Grow in the Circle, or check them out on YouTube, and they will be available as a podcast as well. Today, we are going to be talking about community, which is something that's really close to my heart, and I have always loved building communities wherever I've been, whether that's been a jewellery shop in Banbury or Oxford, whether that is working as a sales assistant in a shoe shop, wherever it is, I love building communities. And over the last 6 years, I've really been focusing on online communities with networking groups and also face-to-face networking groups and talking at different events. So really for me, this show is quite close to my heart. I really wish that if anyone likes this content, please share it with as many people as possible, because I really want everyone to gain as much value out of this as they can. So, 10 ways of how you can grow your community. Let's look at the first one, which I've got is all about the people in your life. So these are your personal relationships. Now, people have different views on family, and when it comes to people, what I mean by that really is, are you talking about your family? Are you talking about your clients? Are you can talk about the people who you live with? I want you to define that, and I want you to define what your community is. So step one is defining what your community is, because once you know who your communities are, or who your main community is, then you can start working towards it. For me, first one is going to be family. Family is so important, and family is really the cornerstone of what makes you as a person. People say that you're surrounded by or you're influenced by the 5 people you spend more time with, and it is so true. But your early days, your early thoughts, most of your ideas that you get in here, most of your early experiences are guided by your family. So have a look at your relationships with your family members. How often are you talking to them? How many times do you reach out to them? Do you see them face to face? Do you just drop in occasionally, or do you give them gifts, or whatever it is? But have a look at your relationships. And with all of these, what I want you to do is, if you sense a bit of conflict with any of the things I say, or you think, actually, my family, I don't speak to my family, and if that's causing you some conflict, then that's not good. And what you need to do is you need to take a step back and think to yourself, well, if I resolve this conflict, can I use this energy that I use to manage the conflict in other places? And the chances are you probably can. So really, with all of these 10 points, including family, just think about it as a way of identifying which areas you want to grow in. So first one for me is family. Second of all, clients. Now, clients are really interesting to me because I think you can learn a lot from clients, as well as obviously your clients learn a lot from you. For instance, I have a number of clients on my books at the moment, and I go to them every week and I just ask them, what's new, what's happening. I always ask the question, what's going to be happening in your industry in 6 months' time? And that's really interesting because I'm gaining really cool insights from people who I work with. And I see them as colleagues rather than clients. I really do. So have a think to yourself, how can I grow my clients? But also, how can I give value to my clients? What can I do that's extra to do? And a simple question to ask them is, how can I make you remarkable? And I'll repeat that. How can I make you remarkable? Because that is such a good question. They're going to know what's going to make them remarkable in their industry. You might not know that, but they will. And if they know that, by asking that question, you're going to get more out of them. So have a think about your clients and think about how much value can, first of all, they glean from you. What can you learn from them? And how can you make them remarkable? Also, when you're looking at kind of growing your clients, refer back to your grow your business and check out your marketing, your sales processes and all that kind of stuff, and how can you grow from there. But for growing your community, it is about value. It's about giving as much value as you can to your particular audience at that point. So if your clients, when you're customer facing, how can you give as much client value to your clients as possible? And remember, every day you should be focusing on one of these things. So if you've got a full client day on your books and you think, do you know what, I've got no time for networking, I've got no time for marketing, I've got no time for collaborations or seeking out new opportunities, do you know what? How can I give value to my customers? That's so important. So we spoke about family, we spoke about clients. Let's talk about other people. And other people can be defined in so many different areas. And they could be literally people walking down the street, people who you don't know, people who you know. But remember, for every interaction, try to be present in the moment and try to really talk to that person and be alive with them. Next up is charity. Are you involved with any charities? Can you give your time, your money, your energy, your connections to help someone else? This is so important. And right from the get-go, for me, charity has been quite close to my heart ever since I was a young lad. And I've done different charity events, whether it's been covering it on social media or actually attending or raising money by doing the activities in the event. Love charity, and I think everybody should have a charity that's close to their heart. And remember, if you haven't, then that's okay. It's okay to, if you think any of these points are mumbo jumbo, that's okay. But some people are going to resonate with charity and they're going to want to do more with charity. So take a look at what charity endeavours you're doing and see how you can increase those, or if you're not doing anything, which charities are close to your heart, which charities really kind of you're passionate about. Start doing something for them. Start putting yourself out there and start giving back. And as I say, it doesn't have to be money. It can be time. It can be energy. It can also be you connecting them with someone who might help them. Have a think about that and really see how you can kind of generate more sense of achievements, more clarity. I can't figure out the word, but really focus on how you can give more value to charity. Next up is conversations. Now, when you talk about growing your community, it's easy to forget conversations. And conversations can be a simple comment on a social media post. It can be a two-way conversation. It could be a video call, it could be a telephone call, it could be a face-to-face meeting. Main thing is you need to really increase your conversations per day. I don't think anybody anywhere in the world has got the amount of conversations right compared to the amount of people who are in their community. So have a think about your conversations and have a think about how you can increase them. Is it the case of going on social media and liking, commenting and sharing on people's posts? Is it about having more face-to-face meetings or more telephone calls, or doing it virtually on Skype or Zoom so you can have more conversations? And remember, the more conversations you have, the more likelihood of you getting yourself out there, because people are going to be talking about you because they're going to be listening to you and hearing your content. But also it's all about increasing the conversation. So therefore, when people are thinking about you or your business, they can refer you. But equally, remember to give value in every conversation. Increase your conversations and you'll have more opportunities. I can guarantee you that. I completely guarantee you that. If you only speak to 2 people a day compared to the person who speaks to 10 people a day, how many more opportunities is the 10 conversation person going to have rather than the 2 person? It's simple maths. The more people you talk to, the better it's going to be. Also, the more people you talk to at networking events, the more visible you are at those particular events, the better it'll be. If you can get a live stream like this to 100, 200 people in a group, or 1,000 or 20,000 people in a group, do you know what? That's going to benefit you more than not doing this live stream. If you've got the opportunity to talk in front of a networking event, compared to just sitting back and listening, you're going to be more visible if you talk. Increase your visibility by having more conversations with people. Nice and straightforward. I'm just going to quickly recap on the first 5 points. And this show is going to be about a 20-minute show, so you're about halfway through at the moment. And we've been talking about how to grow your community, and the different sections we've covered so far is the people in your life. We talk about your clients, talk about your family, talk about charity, and last of all so far has been conversations. Now, if you've got any tips about how you've grown your community, please put them below. Please put them in the comments and let us know. Next up, when you're looking at growing your community, is collaborations. Now, I've already spoken about that a little bit with the conversations about getting up and talking at networking events, but trying to spot an opportunity every day. Try to spot one opportunity, and if you can, then that's going to increase your chances again becoming more visible, so therefore getting more opportunities to talk to different people. Now, what I mean by collaboration is helping out where you can. Now, this could be for free, this could be paid, but the main thing is helping out someone else with a different audience to you, or different goals, or different platforms. Because what you want to do is you want to spread your worth, you want to spread your visibility into those different audiences. Now, this could be running an online challenge for someone's group. It could be doing a Facebook Live. It could be putting your blog into a magazine. It could be talking to someone on their podcast. It could be interviewing someone for their podcast. You get the idea. But collaboration is so important, especially at this time, where we're all, at the moment, in lockdown, 23rd of April, for the people who are kind of watching this back. And actually, a great way of collaborating is just seeing if people need a hand. And it is literally starts off with a simple conversation. Hey, bud, how are you getting on? Can I help you in any way? Or, hey, bud, how are you getting on at the moment? You know, it's a simple question. But if they say, do you know what? I'm struggling to form content in my group. Well, why don't I do a Facebook Live? You know, it's a simple conversation and then you're there. But collaborating with people online, having collaborators in person, even going to a meeting with someone and someone else tagging along, you know, it's all about collaborating. And I've been really passionate about collaborating right from the start of my business. And I think many people should be more collaborative and have an open mindset. And a lot of time, collaborations, you don't get any kind of financial benefit to start off with, but do you know what? You do in the end, because their audience is going to get to know you. A few of their audiences might come along to your events or your groups, and therefore collaboration then suddenly takes a completely different turn because you've got a new audience to play with, to talk to get to know. And remember, when you're growing your audience and growing your community, there's 3 bits you really need to look at. You need to make sure you're giving value. You're giving more value than you're taking. If you give more value, then that is just perfect, and that is exactly what you want. Number 2, you're trying to spread your connections and your knowledge with them. Now, this isn't value. This is about sharing your knowledge, your ideas, and your contacts. So if you know someone who can help them more than someone else, pass on the details. It takes 2 seconds to find the details, pass it on. And thirdly, just give. Give and don't expect anything in return. Loads of people expect to go to their first networking meeting and get sales. They expect to go onto Facebook and post something and it's supposed to have a direct impact. Doesn't work like that. You play the long game. You play the long game and don't focus on the short term. For instance, at the moment, a lot of people are worried about money, and for me, I'm going to throw it out there. I'm quite happy to say on Facebook Live now that if my business goes belly up, I will get a part-time job to keep on going with my business. It's not in my plan, but for the long term, I will, because I'm playing the long game, not the short game. So 3 things: always give value, share your connections, and make sure you don't expect anything in return straight away. Collaboration is key. Next up is all about online groups. Online groups are massive at the moment, especially on Facebook, but also LinkedIn has the option for groups. Not as popular as Facebook, but Facebook groups are where really it is at. So there's loads of different groups set up depending on your interest or what you're looking at. But what you really are looking for is how can you give value to that group? And it could be by doing a Facebook Live like this. It could be just posting and contributing. It could be sharing information from elsewhere that's going to help them. It could be sharing that group to your audience. Whatever it is, trying to give value. But online groups is where conversation is on Facebook. So check those out. Also on that point, check out online meetings. Online meetings are a great way to grow your community. And with the option of holding network meetings online, not only can you talk to someone in Scotland in the morning and then down in Bournemouth or Plymouth the next hour, you could be talking to people internationally. Suddenly local networks can become national networks just in the space of a Zoom call. It's so quick. So at the same time as checking out online groups, check out online meetings as well, because remember, if you can become more visible by giving value, by talking at these, do it. It's not a sales pitch, but people will naturally gravitate to you if they like your message. So if you can be visible by leading a group or by talking at an online meeting, go for it. But attending a meeting is so cool. And at the moment, you can literally network from anywhere across the UK, just purely online. And you can talk to people who you'd never have spoken to in front of before. So check out online groups as well as online meetings. At the same time, when it all kicks back off again, check out in-person networking. And this is where you go and meet someone face to face. At the moment, we can't do it because we're in lockdown. But when it kicks off again, and it will kick off again at some point in time, start going face to face, because those relationships that you've built up online, they're going to translate so well in face to face, and you're going to feel like you know that person because you've been talking to them online. It's happened to me loads of times in the past. Before doing Grow Marketing Media, I focused on Leamington Hour, which is an online Twitter hour. We meet, and it's still going, between 4 and 5 o'clock every Wednesday. And so many people knew me from Leamington Hour. When I met them face to face, it was just like a natural conversation, even if it was the first time we've met. So really, to carry those conversations offline to when you meet them online, and vice versa. So at the moment, if you're talking to people at networking events on the online meetings, carry that on when you're in person, and go and kind of check them out. My last two is see how you can help your village, your town, your city. So get involved with projects and communities in and around your local area. Now, this could be community groups that you want to focus on. This could be historical groups. This could be social groups. Whatever it is, see how you can, again, give value, help out, spend your time, energy, money, and see how you can give back. And this is all about giving back. The village, town, city principle is all about how you, yourself, your business, your connections can help that local place. Now, as I said, 6 years ago, I moved from being a manager of a jewellery store to a local business who was running a storage facility. I was the manager of that said storage facility, and I spent pretty much most of my time in the first 2 years talking to people in the local community, getting involved with local projects, getting involved with talking to people who were in and around that area. So that was a form of networking, but also it's because I wanted to give back. I spent a lot of my time at a project called Kids Run Free, which encourages children to, guess what, run. And it, all of that stuff set me up really well with all the people in there. But actually, I wanted to do it for myself. I wanted to do it so I could help them, but also I felt more connected to the local area than I ever have done. So when you're looking at your village, your town, your city, have a think about how you can give back and how you can give value. It's so important. And then you can have a look at the big picture, which is the final bit. Now, this isn't about your local community. This isn't even about your online community. This is about the big picture. This is a worldwide initiative. The big picture for me is all about how can you help someone else in anywhere. How can your business help the person in Africa, in America, in Japan, in Australia? How can you help them? How can you spread your message, your community, and make it spread as much as you can and help as many people as possible? If your business idea, your community isn't scalable, then actually, do you know what? You might want to look at doing that. And remember, all of these tips are just ideas. They're not something to kind of say, well, actually, I'm a local, my customers are within a 3-mile radius of my shop. That's fine. That's fine. And if that's your community, that's your community. But how could you help someone in Australia or thousands of miles away do exactly the same as what you've done? You know, what principles can you share with them? This is what I'm talking about. So the big picture is you finding out how you can help other people in many different places, many of which you might not even be able to touch physically or talk to face to face. But via technology, how can you help them? How can you share your knowledge? So I'm going to recap these 10 points, and I'm going to just leave you with a little form and a little idea I've got to bring it all together. So number 1, how can you grow your people in your life? What can you learn from your clients? What can you give back to your clients? And also, how can you make your clients remarkable? Great question. How can you make your customers remarkable? Then, how can you improve your family dynamics? You know, how can you grow your community in terms of your relationships, your communication with your family? How can you integrate a charity into your business, into your community? Can you get involved with events? Can you give value, your time, energy to those projects? How can you increase the number of conversations you have per day? Can you start liking, sharing, commenting more on social media? Can you do more Zoom calls like this, so therefore you don't have to worry about meeting face to face? How can you increase these conversations from where you are now to where you want to be? And the more conversations you have, the more opportunities you will have. I can guarantee you that. Collaboration. How can you collaborate with people? Can you do Facebook Lives like this to people in people's Facebook groups? Can you get your blogs into magazines? Can you share contacts? Can you get people to do guest slots in different places? All of these things can help you gain more visibility in your marketing and get your message spread out to different audiences that you might not have access to. Collaboration, so key. Online groups and online meetings. How can you get involved with online meetings with different networking organisations, and how can you spread your word, your message, and give value to online groups? Remember, when it all kicks off, in-person networking will carry on, and those relationships that you've started or building upon online, transfer them into face-to-face, and they will be so warm in terms of the relationships that you would have formed by that process that actually you'll know them just by talking to them online. Have a think about also how you can help your village, your town, your city. How can you get involved with local projects? How can you get involved with local communities? And how can you give values to those people? And then the big picture. How can you help someone 1,000 miles away? Can you share your knowledge with them? Can you share can you make a simple PDF to help them? How can you help someone wide away? Or how can you solve a big issue? And I'll go on to that another time. So when you're looking at growing your community, just have a think about those 10 points and think about, actually, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being crap, 10 being fantastic, how do I fit onto those? So my family dynamic, is it a 1 or is it a 10? Collaboration, is it a 1 or a 10? Online groups and online meetings, is it a 1 or a 10? Have a think about it and go through that process and review those bits. And literally just think to yourself, where am I losing out on my community? And then every day do something, just one thing, one simple thing. Do one thing per day to help you grow that number from a 5 to a 7 or an 8 to 9. And again, it's a compound effect. If you focus on 2 or more of these areas at one time, then actually that effect's going to be compounded so much more. So to give you an instance, today I'm going to be talking at an online meeting. Later on, I'm going to be doing this Facebook Live in this group. I'm going to be having conversations with multiple people via Zoom or telephone. I'm going to be calling my parents up to see how they're getting on. And I'm also going to be starting to create a PDF about how to become more creative, which I can share to everybody. So today I'm focusing on 5 areas of grow your community. And actually, it doesn't seem that much. I could probably do more. But for me, it's about making small changes in many different areas to make a massive difference at the end of it. So that has been Grow Your Community. I'm going to leave it there. I've been talking for about 25 minutes, and I think that's enough for me for today. Take care, my friends. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please leave a comment below of how you found it, which parts resonate with you and which parts you're going to do. And remember, you're not going to resonate with all of these 10 points. It's impossible for me to give you 10 points that you completely go, crap, I need to do all 10. Because you'll know where you're strong and you'll know where you're weak on. So it's about identifying those and then smashing those. Take care, my friends, and I will see you all soon for the next Facebook Live, YouTube or podcast. Take care. Bye-bye.